Hello and welcome to another Company of Heroes 3 game. My name is Fancy Josh, and today I've got a game for you between Nico-Nico-Nii as our US, and his opponent today is going to be Ruby as our Africa Corps. So, map today is going to be Faymanville. L-shaped cutoff, connecting you to a ton of resources, and then a wonky-shaped cutoff, connecting you to the other side. A really short and wide map, so close to your opponent's base, but rather wide map to traverse. And this map leads to some cool games. Interesting strategies. I think indirect fire on this map in particular is quite good. And in the super late game, you'll sometimes see folks posted up just outside their base and fighting long and hard over the center victory point. US player opening engineer into Jeep and has gone for the armored battle group, getting these veterancy crews. So going to have that level 1 Jeep right off the rip here. Going to be able to capture territory with that unit, of course, if he chooses to. Actually has opted for the deploy to be able to deploy heavy weapons. So that's kind of cool. Not something you see every day. So I'm kind of thinking we're going to see him drop a heavy machine gun down for one of his units to pick up. So, the Jeep did see a buff this last patch to the signal detection, increasing its range by something like, I think it's 35 range, which is huge. I think that they did that to bring it in line with other signal detection units, like the recon tractor and the scout car from the Germans. But, yeah, we'll see how if he ends up making use of that. Of course, you do have to keep the Jeep alive in order to make use of it, and it has to be not moving. And this map this is a good map for it because it's rather short across, so you can map hack your opponent's units with it. See if he makes use of that. Motorcycle has been added on. So, gonna capture up that territory on the right side. 250 on the field as well. German did open with 3 Panzer Pioneers, so is gonna have a little bit of extra capturing power early, but gonna be lacking that staying power, but gonna be offset by this 250, so love to see that. US player continuing with 2 riflemen. No surprises there. Panzer Pioneer's going to try and grab this point away. Going to repair up that motorcycle there, but is going to get caught here. Fortunately for him, the US player focused the bike instead of the Pioneers. Otherwise, that could have really hurt. 250 trying to help out. Rifleman going to shoo it away. Yeah, action-packed start here. Both players skirmishing early and often. Grenades on the way for our US player. Perhaps to deal with this 250. Gonna let him throw an AT grenade on that. That looked like a little bit of a misclick to me, but that's okay. Not the end of the world. German player has added on... Well, I was gonna say he's added on his support company, but I guess we already knew that. Jeep in trouble here, needs to back off. German player focusing that unit down. Rifleman screening a little bit. I think he's trying to bait that 250 to come in so that he can hit it with an AT grenade. German player going to complete the capture and not fall for the bait. Motorcycle trying to get something done, but not going to happen. Engineers deep on this side. Skirmishing with some Panzer Pioneers. 250, nope, just a motorcycle back. Coming to help out. Not completing that capture, unfortunately, for our US player. Not going to be able to deny those resources and assault Grenadiers on the way for our German here. Assault Grenadiers on this map are a little bit tough. I mean, there's some good spots for them to get ambushes, and of course you can always use them in a 250, but by themselves... It's kind of a wide open map, and they're going to be always charging across an open field at the opponent for the most part. Like I said, you can get a little tricky with hedgerows and that type of thing, but in general, it's going to be open sight lines. Captain on the field for a U.S. player after adding on that infantry support section is going for this cutoff point to deny a little bit of resources to his opponent. It's not going to be anything too major. Preparing up that 250 right outside his opponent's base. Bold decision. German player adding on the fire support elements here, so we're probably going to see a flak half-track in short order here. Assault Grenadiers hopping in this 250, which has been upgraded to the 259. So going to have that increased DPS and might lose this Jeep here. Barely backing up just in time there. AT Grenade's going to come out here. Assault Grenadiers bailing out, getting that Assault Rush bonus. Going to let them close the gap, throw grenades for free. They also get that defensive bonus, so this is a little bit scary for our US player. Is bringing plenty of units to try and deal with it, though. And Assault Grenadiers are not going to be able to finish this fight. Going to have to bail out, throwing a smoke grenade. 259 getting repaired up by the Pioneers while this is happening, though. Nicely done. Assault Grenadiers going to make it out. 259 going to be mounted up. And going to slowly back away here. That's a little bit of a scary German mine, really far forward there. So creative use of his units here. Putting down mines, upgrading the 259. Very cool. I really like 259s with the Assault Grenadiers, because of course the 259 gets that attack speed bonus. Let me see if I can show it to you. Yeah, so when it's got units inside of it, it fires faster, and that comboed with the Assault Grenadiers, you get the attack bonus with the unit while the Assault Grenadiers are inside. You close the gap, and then you ultimately bail out the Assault Grenadiers at the last second there. It's just kind of a cool combo. Mechanized Panzerjäger's on the field, going to hunt down this Jeep, and it does look like he's going to go down here. So nice pickup by our German. There is a flak half-track on the field here. I believe it's posted up in the middle. Yep, there it is on the map. Engineer's going to get out of there, no problem. Captain coming to screen here, as well as a million riflemen. This half-track is in jeopardy here. Rifleman not able to close the distance and throw an assault grenade. Big, huge flank here. Just totally wrapping these riflemen. Black half-track trying to help out. 259 closing with that heavy machine gun. Assault Grenadiers in the thick of things, trying to pick up that captain. Not going to happen. Assault Grenadiers are also going to have to bail out. And flak half-track's going to cover the whole area here. Motorcycle trying to help. Doing a decent job. Going to bail out of there. Here come the Panzerjägers with the fully repaired 250. Would not be surprised to see our German player upgrade this to a 259 as well, or even a mortar half-track. Like I said, mortars on this map pretty good. Greyhound on the field for our US player. Love to see that. Is going to pick up this 259 by the looks of things. Black half trying to help out. Greyhound not dissuaded. One more shot. Not going to happen. Attack ground through the hedge there. And nice get out by our German player. That was a really close one. So very happy to see the Greyhound. I've been seeing it a little bit more today, which is a nice change. I feel like a lot of folks like to ignore it, but against our Africa Corps here, I'm thinking I'd actually like to see our U.S. player go for a Chaffee. He's got a target-rich environment for that Chaffee right now, but Greyhound can obviously hold its own. Scout's going to take away this central point. Now, our U.S. player's done a great job draining his opponent's victory points here. So German is working with a bit of a deficit. Of course, it's still anyone's game. Panzerjäger's going hard against this Greyhound, but going to be driven away by overwhelming firepower there. Black half-track trying to help out. There is a AT gun on the field here. Panzerjäger's going to get a shot on the Greyhound. Greyhound going to back up and get repaired up there. AT gun just hit the field, so still on the way. 259 not quite sitting in the zone there, so not capturing that victory point, unfortunately for him. Did notice it now. Second AT gun on the way. And I do love AT guns on this map in particular. Again, wide open sight lines for the most part, so you can post up your AT guns in this area and hit pretty much anything your opponent's trying to do through the middle. Black half-track Behind the hedge there, AT gun attacking ground, it looked like. Not sure what that was. Heavy machine gun gonna suppress those units. Panzerjäger's looking for trouble here. Looks like he might find it too. Anticipating his opponent rotating left. This side over here, 259 also gonna get involved, so we're gonna see a big old fight here. Assault Grenadiers closing the distance with the Greyhound. Yeah, Panzerjäger's getting a good shot on the Greyhound. AT grenade gonna come out, take down the 259. Grenades coming out from the Assault Grenadiers there. Getting some good hits against those riflemen. Riflemen gonna bail out. And Jaeger's gonna give up the position as well, so both players blasting away at each other. Overall, better trade for our US player, taking down that 259. Riflemen choosing to close the gap against these Grenadiers. Bold decision. Flak half-track going to help out. AT guns look like they're trying to attack ground through the hedges there. Is going to get a connection. Nicely done. Second AT gun trying to help out as well, but not quite going to connect. And smoke grenades from these Assault Grenadiers going to let them finish the capture. So really good map control from our German player right now. Is denying his opponent all sorts of fuel income. And US player not dissuaded. We do see some mortars from our German player. Love to see that. And why not? I mean, he'd already picked up the 259. Already picked up the combat half-tracks. Has also picked up the smoke canisters. So his vehicles get in trouble. He can throw down smoke and bail out. Pack gun ready for anything our US player wants to do. Greyhound avoiding that trap there. AT gun's still set up in a position to help with this flak, but look how crazy long range that thing is. Able to hit those riflemen all the way out there. Pack gun repositioning, knowing where his opponent's Greyhound is, which you should always do with your AT guns. If you know where your opponent is, rotate to where they're going to be. AT gun setting up, going to try and attack ground through the brush there, but riflemen going to push him back here. German player has locked in the armored support here. Picked up the veteran gunners, as well as the salvage kits. Pack gun attacking ground through the hedge here, not connecting. Did get a hit. Oh no, that was not a hit there. That was just the phosphorus rounds, and both players going to have to bail out. Mortars blasting away at this heavy machine gun. Heavy machine gun looks like he's going to give up the position. And yeah, really nice armory composition from our German here. Able to deal with everything his opponent's got on the field at the moment. More deep mines from our German here being found out by our US player. Going to clean those up, no problem. US player capturing territory on the wings here with his riflemen. And I love how aggressive both players are being, constantly probing the fog of war, trying to find out where their opponent is. Big hit by that mortar there. Already veteran C1. And very cool infantry support gun. That's not what it's called. Try that again here in just a second. So, IG support gun there. This thing is hard for me to name. I always call it a support gun. Love to see that. It did see a buff last patch, basically increasing its fire rate when barraging to offset the other nerfs that it got. So multiple sources of indirect fire from our German here, and actually adding on yet another mortar. So he's got 3 units that are going to be offering indirect fire support. Now I'll reiterate that I think a Chaffee's really good for our US player. He of course doesn't know that, because he does not have perfect information like we do. Good hit by the AT gun. Flak half-track going the wrong way. AT gun reloading. Not going to connect there. Rifleman closing the gap with these Pioneers. Grenade coming out. Going to get a good hit there. I do think the Riflemen, they're really clumped up here, so taking a ton of damage from that flamethrower is ultimately going to win the fight, but another flamethrower on the scene. Captain not quite helping out. Barrage is happening. Fights everywhere right now. Greyhound trying to help out, taking a hit from that mortar. And barrage is continuing to come out, going to force that AT gun back. More riflemen on the scene here to stop this capture from our German player. Motorcycle on this top side going to get picked up by the US player. Grenades coming out from the assault grenadiers. And yeah, I mean, this is what indirect fire support does for you, right? It makes it so your opponent has to be constantly moving. But it does not have a ton of units to stand in front of these units, which is why I think a Chaffee is going to be really strong here. Could just come through here and rip up all these units. Like I said, our US player doesn't know that. So, difficult to make that type of call. Does have a ton of fuel saved up. And German player has added on the Panzer Company here. Going for the Panzer III right now. Indirect fire support barrages continue. Flak half-track on that top side, scuffling with some riflemen. Trying to slow down their advance up there. US player picking up a bunch of territory on that left side. And if our US player can weather this storm, he's going to do just fine. I mean, he's got 4 riflemen on the field right now. AT gun moving forward, getting a good connection on those half-tracks of all things, and this is what I'm talking about, right? Our German player doesn't have a lot of stuff to deal with this infantry. Panzer III, of course, is going to help. Support gun actually firing real close range there. And Greyhound picking up that flak half-track on the side. Nicely done by our US player. Panzer III moving down to this bottom side. Basically going to face no resistance there. And barrages continuing to come out. US player repositioning so as to not face the wrath of those guns. Smoke grenades also coming out here. Blocking line of sight for a US player. Both players very, very even on victory points right now. US player, of course, controls all 3, so ticking his opponent rather fast. Is adding on a tank depot now. So it looks like we are going to see some Shermans from him. Now, what do we think he's going to go for here? With perfect information, I honestly, I think either a bulldozer or a regular Sherman is going to work just fine here. Bulldozer's going to let him deal with all this infantry, all these units here. It's also rather beefy, so it can stand up to this Panzer III no problem. It does already have the AT guns on the field to deal with a Panzer III. So with all that in mind, I think a bulldozer is probably the right call, but a regular Sherman is going to do just fine. Barrage is continuing to blast away here. Everybody taking huge hits, and heavy machine gun might go down there. US player standing up just fine to all these barrages, though. We just heard a mine go down somewhere. Maybe not. Oh yeah, there it is. The US mine. Riflemen duking it out with some more Flame Pioneers up there. Greyhound being found out by this Panzer III. Panzer III thinking he wants to chase. AT guns not in position, but are getting hits on these mortars. Indirect fire continuing to blast the AT guns. US player does have control of the center there. And Greyhound barely escaping this Panzer III. Rifleman looking for an AT grenade. Not going to find it. AT gun went down to the persistent barrage there. Smoke grenade's going to stop stop anything from firing here, really. I don't know if the... doesn't look like the German can actually see that anti-tank gun in the smoke there, so maybe not be able to reman it. Low health Greyhound helping out against the Flame Panzers there, Flame Pioneers there. US player going for the AT gun from the looks of things is going to be prevented from doing that by the heavy machine gun. AT gun going to destroy the US AT gun there. Oh, changing his mind, going for the capture here. Nicely done. He gets away with that. He's going to be real happy. Captain trying to stop it from happening. Doesn't look like he's going to. Pioneers going deep on these munitions on the left side. Greyhound going to stop that from happening. And deep mine there, picking up a Pioneer model on the way out. And wow. So, US player is getting close to having enough manpower here. AT gun again connecting with these units here. And I do like we've seen our US player kind of hugging the edges of the map to avoid all of this persistent indirect fire here. And I do like that from him. But I also like that he's not just rolling over and giving up this point here. And it is going to be an easy 8 for a US player. Okay, that makes a whole lot of sense. Easy 8's really good against pretty much everything. Scouts almost going down there. AT guns again shooing away the German. And look at this blob here. Shame for the US Army not having strong indirect fire, because this is a juicy target here. And Easy 8 on the field now. Riflemen scuffling with these German units here. 8 heavy machine gun going to set up and shut this push down from the looks of things. Panzer 3 on the field. Easy 8 here as well. Actually backing into the fight. Smoke grenade coming out from the Assault Grenadiers there, blocking line of sight. Easy 8 did attack ground through this fog of war there. AT guns ready for this Easy 8 though. Panzer 3 blasting those riflemen. Rifleman going to give up the point. Heavy machine gun setting up. US player cap is going to walk away with 2 victory points here. Indirect fire moving in. Going to try and barrage here. Not sure what that unit's doing. Panzerjäger's moving up. Searching for this AT gun. Not going to find him. Also searching for the Sherman. Might find him here on the flank. Panzer 3 trying to deal with these riflemen getting aggressive. Easy 8 facing down those Jaegers. Did get a good hit. Might get another one. Nice connection there. Not quite picking up the unit, but is fairly low health. AT guns attacking through the hedge again. Easy 8 backing off. Panzer 3 trying its luck as well. None of those rounds finding their mark, so Easy 8 is going to make it out okay. And German player is going for the armored reserves here. Going to have access to those Tigers in short order. Should see at least one more Easy 8 on the field by the time that happens. Victory points still extremely even here. Greyhound's still alive, finding the side armor of this Panzer 3. Is going to have to bail out. Panzer 3 looks like he wants to go on the hunt here. Getting decent hits on those scouts. Going to find the captain as well. And Greyhound is going to make it out. It's amazing to me that Greyhound is still alive, given all the anti-tank options on the field. Riflemen closing the gap here. Making use of that port on him for that huge rate of fire bonus, but not able to close it out with those Pioneers. Easy 8 repaired up, not quite fully, but good enough. US player's going to put a big push on this bottom side. And also going to big push on the top side from the looks of things. German thinking about planting some mines, but going to be dissuaded from doing so. AT guns rotating immediately upon sighting the Easy 8. As he should. Where's our Greyhound? Haven't seen him in a second. Veteran C3 already? Jeez. So plus 80 health matters a whole heck of a lot. Another AT being remade by our US player. Obviously concerned about some of those bigger tanks his opponent might be bringing to bear. Panzer 3 on the scene here. Easy 8 here to respond. Anti-tank guns ready for this. Easy 8 thinking about pushing, but deciding better of it. Might see an attack ground here. Indeed. Another attack ground. Bounce in the front there. Actually, the half-track's actually connecting with the Easy 8 there. US rifleman finding an exposed flank here. Heavy machine gun actually facing the wrong way here. Grenade going to come out. Nice find on this this truck, medical truck there. Is going to kill this heavy machine gun. Oh, and barely not going to get it. unfortunately for him. And riflemen facing down this Panzer III are going to have to bail out. AT gun was thinking about getting involved, but not going to happen. Easy 8 moving up as well. Where the AT guns in the middle there. Easy 8 wants a piece of this support gun. Is going to find it. Support gun going to reposition. AT gun ready for the Panzer III to come in. Here it comes. Good connection there. Second AT gun on the scene. Panzer III in jeopardy here. He's going to get one more hit from this guy. Smoke grenade coming out. Attack grounds hitting. One more shot. Does he have it? Oh, barely missing. Wow. That was a lucky Panzer III there, but nice use of that smoke grenade. Going to keep that unit alive. Going to get repaired up by these 3 Panzer Pioneers that he's had alive since the beginning of the game. Do they have their repair bonus yet? Not yet. That comes at Veteran C3. And it doesn't look like one of them's getting close. Rifleman going to take this top victory point. Panzerjägers stealthing around. Big push on this top side. The machine gun going to be removed. And our U.S. player's done a nice job keeping his forces alive in the face of all that indirect fire. I mean, this entire game he's been dealing with triple indirect fire, and that is not an easy feat. Heavy machine gun getting flanked by these riflemen in heavy cover. Smoke grenade going to cover the units here. Incendiary round from one of these half-tracks going to burn those riflemen out of there. They might go down. Easy 8 almost picking up the half-tracks. Rifleman made it out just in time. AT guns attacking ground through that hedgerow. Not going to pick them up there. Engineers exploring the fog of war here. Looks like our U.S. player wants to push in. Is going to find the support gun. Panzer Pioneer blob here. Going to make that difficult to do. AT guns getting a good connection there. And U.S. player is going to back off of that. Wow. This game. I know I say this every game, but this game has been awesome. Got a second Easy 8 on the way. And our German player is going to have a Tiger here very shortly. So this game is just about to go all out. Both players have done a phenomenal job keeping their units alive. Very, very cool to see. I mean, heck, even the Assault Grenadiers still alive. You very often see players use that unit very aggressively and lose them. Same with this Panzerjägers, to be totally honest with you. So this has been very, very cool. And it's not because our U.S. players camping in his base. He is being both players being very, very aggressive with all their units. Incendiary round from that mortar half-track connecting with the AT gun. Going to have to reposition. Rifleman moving in. To be honest with you, I think our U.S. player might benefit from bar rifles here. I know he's strapped for cash, of course, and he is focused on those Easy 8s. But bar rifles at this stage in the game could be really big, especially with 3 rifleman squads. Assault Grenadiers closing the distance with these riflemen. Riflemen taking huge damage. Looks like they are barely going to make it out. AT guns getting good hits, though. Easy 8 going to bail out, and a Panzer Pioneer going down there. Actually, 2 Panzer Pioneers have gone down in this fight. AT guns setting up on the Panzer III. AT guns from our German player responding. No units lost. U.S. player looks like he's going to win this fight. Going to find this mortar half-track on the left side, but not going to pick him up. Barrage is hitting this AT gun, and here's the Tiger. AT guns are facing the Tiger, but of course it's got its front armor ready to go there. Incendiary round hitting those heavy machine gun. Literally 0 penetrations on all of these AT guns. Easy 8 getting a nice little flank here. But both AT guns going down, going to be remanned by those Pioneers from the looks of things. Easy 8 getting involved, getting a nice front penetration there. Scout's going to remand the AT gun here. Again, good connections. Panzer III here to help out. Pack guns set up as well. This Easy 8 is not in the fight here. Scouts might go down there. Barely going to bail out. And so close to using so many units here. Easy 8 might go down. Indirect fire. He's attacking ground there, not able to see those units. Easy 8 going to back up. AT guns repositioning. Bouncing out the front armor there. Holy cow, I can't believe nobody went down. I can't believe nobody went down there. Panzer Pioneers were the only losses in that battle that I saw. I think an engineer may have gone down as well. But AT gun remounted. Panzer III taking huge damage. AT grenade's going to come out, maybe? Not going to connect. Smoke grenade's going to save the day. Panzer Pioneers. Oh, man, hitting a tack round with the AT gun. Mortar getting aggressive. Looks like a misclick. Easy 8 helping out. Mortar half-track finally going down. We're going to have a Stuka dive bomb here on this midsection, but the AT gun does look like he's going to make it out. Just barely there. Did lose the AT gun. AT gun going to be destroyed by the pack guns there. And very blue map right now. Victory point's insanely close here. Looks like our German player is choosing to focus this bottom side, which I think is a good decision. Focus one side if you can't get across the map there. And our German player is seemingly on the back foot despite having superior firepower, I feel like. Gosh, I don't know. It's tough to say. I mean, the Tiger is big and scary, right? But can only do so much. Barrage is continuing to come out. Actually barraging the main base here. Trying to take out that... he's been doing that a little bit regularly from the looks of things. I don't think that's the first barrage. And yeah, wow. All quiet for the moment here. German player has picked up 2 of the victory points. Panzer III looking like he wants to troll around here, but not actually doing anything. Picked up the, yeah, he's going to pick up that rapid advance here. Going to let him secure points with vehicles, which is a good decision. Easy 8, getting good hits on those Panzerjägers. Changing focus fire to this heavy machine gun so that his rifleman can perform. Flamethrower is closing the gap with this heavy machine gun. Heavy machine gun going to bail out. Here comes the Tiger and the Panzer III. Heavy machine gun going to get out of there. Rifleman taking a big hit from that Tiger, but going to get out okay. Here's our other Easy 8. The other Easy 8 looks to be in base for our U.S. player right now, trying to pick up this point, though. Panzer III going to chase. Rifleman got to go. Don't think they're going to get out of there, though. Nice pickup by our German. U.S. player needs to be careful here because the German player is getting aggressive. Is going to manage to take this center point away from his opponent here. Barrage is coming out from that support gun. Easy 8 wants to get involved. Tiger coming back, going to clear out these hedgerows a little bit. AT gun getting the side armor of this tank, but not actually managing to do much with that. Tiger blasting the AT gun there. Pack gun going to rotate. Support gun trying to help out. And Easy 8 hiding behind this house just a little bit here. Another Easy 8 on the scene here. Going to get some side hits on the Tiger there. AT grenades coming out on this Panzer III. Panzer III might go down. Easy 8 behind this AT gun. Yeah. Second AT gun setting up. Glancing blow from that Easy 8 up there. Tiger on the scene. Going to take down this first Easy 8. Oh, barely getting behind the house. But Tiger going to chase. Easy 8 moving. Tiger's going to have an angle shortly. Going to find this Panzer III. Not quite. And U.S. player ultimately losing an Easy 8 there, but does have control of 2 of the victory points now, so his opponent is bleeding. Did manage to secure the opponent's AT gun. That's actually that was originally his gun there. And Easy 8 not able to pick up that support gun. Trying to pick up this pack gun. Might get it. Vet 3 captain on the field. Easy 8 in a target-rich environment here, but not able to get anything done. Easy 8 destroying the machine gun there. Greyhound on the scene, going to try and take out this heavy machine gun. I'd love to see that. That'd be a nice little pickup for him. Assault Grenadiers going to take away this middle point. And German down to 45 points here. Easy 8 being found out by the Tiger, going to have to keep going. Heavy machine gun did not get destroyed by the Greyhound. Greyhound chasing these Jaegers. Might see a canister shot here. He is going to do that and totally wreck these Jaegers. Now this is a Vet 3. That's a Vet 3 unit there, so does have that extra health. And almost picking up those Jaegers on the retreat. Looks like he wants to chase. Might be able to get away with it. Of course, he doesn't know that. Is chasing and not going to be able to quite connect there. Big grenades coming out of these Grenadiers, but actually taking some friendly fire on that barrage. Smoke grenade coming out. Try and give these grenadiers as much time as possible. Heavy machine gun nearly dead there. And Tiger taking out the anti-tank gun. German player slowly ticking down his opponent. Greyhound finally going to go down to this veteran C3 Panzer III. And Panzer III going to get out of there. AT guns setting up on this Easy 8. Easy 8 might go down. Wow. And what a turnaround for our German there. Jeez. Now, he is going to have 2 victory points here, but there's no way the German's going to let that happen for very long. Rifleman trying to get out and active here. Looks like the German player is trying to dive on this point because he can actually stop the capture from happening, but it might actually just be a misclick too. Who knows? And look at that Panzer III on basically no health. Tiger trolling around here. Going after these riflemen. Riflemen going to bail out. Engineers just need to stand on this point, to be totally honest with you. Just let this unit stand on that point as long as they can. There is a squad going up to that top side to secure that point. Looks like a Greyhound is trying to respond to that. But these engineers aren't going to win this fight. Not with the Tiger on the scene. Satchel charge to try and dissuade them. Again, he's just trying to delay as long as he possibly can. Take his opponent down. But the loss of that engineer is pretty devastating. Looks like the new Greyhound also went down. Rifleman in the middle here going to try and secure this point. Is going to move up to that top side. And U.S. player basically in desperation mode here. Only has 3 units to his name. But, you know, I've seen, you know, Nico... It's funny. Nico-Nico-Nii does stay in games up until the last second. But with that Tiger rolling back in, he was done for. Holy cow, what a game. Look at the difference in damage there. The U.S. player took 10,000 more damage than his opponent did, and that's that indirect fire, right? And that's also those AT guns plugging away at those tanks. What an incredible game. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and I will see you in the next one.